My name is Drew Miller. I was experteering in 2012 with a grassroots nonprofit organization called Eco Farms Panama. Before I went experteering, I was working for a mid-sized architecture firm in Philadelphia, doing commercial work, work for universities, and some hospital work in architecture. I was also an avid runner and triathlete, and was pursuing personal passions like that and looking for other ways to get involved with my skill set, with the 4 to 5 years experience that I had had out of architecture school, and also, trying to broaden my horizons and broaden my experiences, especially in the design build world. The highlight of my experteering trip was seeing a project from initial conception to completion. This project we did in Eco Farms Panama was extremely unique. We did a design build for a grassroots nonprofit organization that works on land conservation and restoration in the Mamoni River Valley in the Panama rainforest. And they needed facilities, like live-work facilities for their researchers, for their students, for their professionals to come down and essentially do studies on the land, about land conservation, sustainable land practices, and talk with the community and the locals about how to sustainably use their land and still get a profit and make a means of living out of it. So the highlight of my trip was really building in a completely different way that I had never built before, with limited resources and natural resources, and in a completely sustainable manner. In this world today, we talk about, in architecture, we talk about sustainability and green design and lead design. But this was really getting down to the core of local materials, local building practices, using passive solar design, things that people have been using for centuries, but with technologies and the way that building has evolved over the years, kind of has been left to the wayside. And it was nice to get back to the grassroots of sustainable building and sustainable design. And I really loved the hands-on aspect of building. The scale that we were building at was manageable, and teaching people who had never had construction backgrounds before a skill set in functional design, in pragmatic design, and sustainable design. Since experteering, I have taken a job in New York City working for a mid-sized architecture firm. We work a lot in cultural and museum projects, and I've also taken a board member position in Architecture for Humanity. So I am a member of the board in Architecture for Humanity, the local chapter here in New York, and essentially we work in the 5 boroughs of New York City, lending a hand in community design. Architecture for Humanity really tries to act as a bridge between these local communities who don't know where to start, don't know where to begin the design process, maybe are looking to raise funds, and who can't afford these services. And the architecture community, we look to bridge the gap between them, and we fill in the holes as we can with pro bono design. Before I went experteering, I think I wish I knew a little bit more about the organization that I was going with. It's always scary to go to a new place and new things and see new things in the world. It's exciting, but it's also, it can be a little stressful. And I think having face-to-face Skype conversations and really open communication about the type of work you're going to be doing, what a day in the life is like, definitely would help to calm those nerves. I feel like I was very much set up when I went experteering, I feel like I was given a good background on the organization. The advice I would give people going experteering, I would tell them that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know, traveling and volunteering abroad is sometimes seen as, you know, more of a fun activity rather than an educational experience. And I would say that, you know, going back to grad school, getting your PhD, those are seen as, you know, things to elevate your education and elevate your credentials. But I think experteering and volunteering abroad in very specific ways that your skill set is useful is equal to going to grad school and to continuing professional education. It is a version of continuing professional education. You learn to cross cultural barriers. You learn to use the skill set that you were given and the experience you learned in the real world and help communities grow. So, you know, I think the advice that I really want to give people is that make the most of your experience and go into it knowing that you can affect an entire community. You have the opportunity to help with the knowledge that you bring to the table, but you also have the opportunity to affect a community in ways that you would not have thought. Experteering is an extremely useful tool in continuing your education. I think it's undervalued. The cultural barriers you have to cross, the critical thinking and the problem-solving skills you have to have in real time with limited resources in the areas that experteering takes you, and I think that's taken for granted. So go in with an open mind and know that you're not only affecting a community with the kind of educational elements that you're bringing and the skill set you were brought in for, but know that you're going to affect them in so many other ways, and you're going to be kind of involving yourself in a community and with the locals, and that you have the opportunity to learn a lot from them and also teach them a lot about not only what you were brought in for. So truly take it all in and let the experience be vast.